Forget TikTok, the next battleground might be your driveway. The US government is considering blocking imports of Chinese cars, and it's got everyone from car enthusiasts to economists in a tizzy. But is this a wise move, or just another political hot potato? Will your dream car suddenly become unavailable? Will prices skyrocket? In this video, we will look into the reasons behind this potential ban, exploring the economic and political factors at play. So, stay with me until the end of the video to find out the truth. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel first. On Friday, a US manufacturing advocacy group issued a stern warning, urging the government to intervene by halting the influx of low-cost Chinese autos and components entering the country via Mexico. Their concern is rooted in the potential ramifications for American car manufacturers, whose viability they fear could be jeopardized by these imports. The group talks about how American automakers are at a loss when compared to Chinese automakers because Chinese automakers have lower production costs. They say that letting these imports keep coming in could worsen the problems the US car industry is already having, which could cause jobs to be lost and economic growth to slow down. The group also stresses the importance of protecting American jobs and keeping the playing field level for American producers. They say that stopping these imports is needed to protect American workers' interests and ensure that the US car industry will be around for a long time. It's a call to action to protect the quality and competitiveness of American industry as pressures from around the world rise. In a report, the Alliance for American Manufacturing warned very strongly about the dangers of cheap Chinese cars coming to the US market. Their research highlighted that the affordability of these cars is largely due to strong support and financial assistance from the Chinese government. Chinese automakers can offer their products at much lower prices than their American peers thanks to this support. The Alliance tried to highlight how serious the situation was by saying that this flood of cheap Chinese cars could be disastrous for the US auto industry. They raised concerns that such a development could lead to an extinction-level event, posing a dire threat to the survival of American car manufacturers. The report emphasized the urgent need for action to prevent this scenario from unfolding. It called on policymakers to take decisive measures to protect American jobs and industries, advocating for policies that safeguard fair competition and uphold the integrity of the U.S. automotive market. Failure to address these challenges, the Alliance warned, could have far-reaching consequences, jeopardizing the livelihoods of workers and the economic health of the nation. Not only this, they're also concerned about a loophole that allows automobiles and parts made in Mexico by Chinese-owned companies to sneak into the North American Free Trade Agreement. According to the group, this loophole could lead to a flood of cheap Chinese imports, spelling trouble for American car manufacturers. Their message is pretty straightforward. If we don't close this commercial backdoor soon, we could see a wave of plant closures and job losses across the country. It's a stark warning about the dangers of allowing unfair competition to undermine American businesses and workers. So, what's the solution? The Alliance believes that the United States needs to take proactive steps to protect its automotive industry. That means tightening up regulations to prevent Chinese-owned companies from taking advantage of NAFTA and undercutting American manufacturers. It's all about leveling the playing field and ensuring that American workers have a fighting chance in the global market. There is no sugarcoating from the Alliance for American Manufacturing when they talk about a gap that lets Chinese-owned companies flood the American market with cars and parts made in Mexico. What's all the fuss about? Well, the US-Mexico-Canada trade deal gives these goods special treatment, and they can also get a nice $7,500 tax credit for electric vehicles. That sounds like a great deal, does it not? But the Chinese mission in DC doesn't seem to agree. They are praising China's export of cars and talking about how high quality and new they are. They say that China's car industry is on the fast track to success and is making great products that are known all over the world. China may be proud of its progress, but the Alliance for American Manufacturing doesn't agree. So that everyone has the same chances, they want the US to do something to protect American jobs. As the battle for the future of the auto business heats up, the stakes could not be higher. The spotlight is shining bright on a hot topic right now. Word on the street is that China's BYD is eyeing up Mexico as the location for a brand spanking new electric vehicle (EV) factory. Now, why is this making waves? Well, BYD has a reputation for rolling out budget-friendly models and offering a wider selection compared to its main rival Tesla. And guess what? They've just overtaken Tesla to snag the crown as the world's top-selling EV maker. Yes, you heard that right. BYD is taking the EV world by storm, and this move to set up shop in Mexico is only adding fuel to the fire. It's got folks buzzing about what this means for the future of electric cars, not just in Mexico, but worldwide. Let's break it down. With BYD's track record for pumping out affordable EVs, this factory could be a game changer for the industry. And with Tesla now playing catch-up, it's a sign that the competition is heating up in the race to dominate the electric vehicle market. Now let's dive deeper into the latest buzz in the world of electric vehicles, EVs. You see, nearly a year ago, Tesla made waves with plans to construct a factory in the northern Mexico state of Nuevo Leon. That news alone had people talking, but fast forward to October, and Mexico dropped another bombshell, announcing that a Chinese Tesla supplier and a Chinese tech company were set to pump nearly $1 billion into the state. Talk about shaking things up! The first batch of sleek and futuristic BYD Auto 3 vehicles gliding onto the streets of Hungary were greeted by eager customers and high-profile figures like Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó and BYD Chairman Wang Xuanfu. With these cutting-edge Chinese EVs rolling onto European soil, it's not just about flashy cars. It's about competition, innovation, and ultimately, progress. These vehicles aren't just changing the game, they're rewriting the rulebook. And as they hit the streets of Hungary, they're bringing with them the promise of better products and prices for consumers across Europe. But it's not just about what's under the hood. It's about the ripple effects these EVs are creating throughout the entire automotive ecosystem. By injecting fresh ideas and technologies into the supply chain, they're sparking a wave of innovation that's propelling Europe's transition to EVs forward at lightning speed. Now, let's shift our focus back to the US, where the road to EV dominance is a bit rockier. There's talk of potential government intervention to block Chinese EVs from entering the market, citing concerns about national security and economic competitiveness. But hold up, not everyone's on board with that plan. Zhou, a voice in the conversation, argues that blocking Chinese EVs would be a major missed opportunity. It's not just about the cars themselves. It's about the benefits they bring, from cutting-edge technology to affordable prices. Plus, let's not forget about the elephant in the room, climate change. With the Biden administration ramping up efforts to combat climate change, hindering the adoption of EVs could throw a major wrench in those plans. Back in Hungary, BYD isn't just stopping at delivering a few flashy cars and calling it a day. Nope, they're doubling down on their commitment to the European market, with plans to expand their presence in Hungary by doubling the number of stores in the country this year. But it's not all smooth sailing for the Chinese EVs in Europe. There are hurdles to overcome, from regulatory challenges to cultural differences. And let's not forget about the competition. They're not the only players in town. European automakers are stepping up their game, rolling out their own EVs and vying for a slice of the electric pie. So, what's the bottom line? The EV landscape is evolving, and fast. From the streets of Hungary to the halls of power in Washington, D.C., the future of electric vehicles is being shaped by a complex web of factors, from government policy to consumer demand. And as Chinese EVs make their mark on the global stage, one thing's for sure: the race to electrify the world is on, and it's anyone's game. Also, with BYD making moves, there's a bit of drama brewing back home in the US. a bipartisan group of lawmakers is raising some serious concerns. They're calling on the Biden administration to crank up the heat on tariffs for Chinese-made vehicles and figure out ways to put the brakes on Chinese companies exporting their goods to the US via Mexico. So, as the EV revolution revs up, it's clear that the stakes are higher than ever, with Tesla and BYD going head-to-head and lawmakers flexing their muscles. One thing's for sure, the road ahead is bound to be full of twists and turns. That's all for today's video. Let's sign off, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video.